Some towns in America are so desperate for people, they'll literally give you land, throw in a check, and maybe even name a street after your dog. Sounds like a scam, right? Nope, this is real. Welcome to the strangest real estate market you're not supposed to know about. See, while everyone's doom-scrolling Zillow and overpriced cities, a quiet land grab is happening in places you've never heard of. Places that want you there so badly, they'll build you a front porch, bake you a pie, and hope you never leave. But there's a catch. Actually, 10. Because some of these free land deals come with rules, ghosts, or neighbors that might be UFO enthusiasts. We're counting down 10 US towns that are practically giving away land right now, ranked by how surprising, bizarre, or sneakily brilliant they are. From forgotten farm towns with haunted oak trees to Midwestern hamlets that pay you to have kids, this isn't surface level. And trust me, you're not ready for what's next. Wait till you see the town that throws you a parade just for showing up. Let's break it down. Number 10. Beatrice. Beatrice, Nebraska will literally give you a plot of land as long as you promise not to ghost them after a year. Yup, land free. Just sign here and try not to flake. Beatrice, not Beatrice, unless you want side eyes at the farmer's market, is your classic Midwest town. It's got just under 12,000 people, plenty of grain silos, and a public library that still checks out VHS tapes. You're not here for nightlife unless you count drive-through Dairy Queen as the club. Unemployment lower than the national average. Violent crime below average. Median rent just $700. I get this. The median home price is $125,000. That's not a typo. That's a starter home and a used Honda in San Francisco. Cost of living is 23% lower than the US average according to Best Places. So far so good, right? But then Beatrice launched a Homestead Act reboot in 2010, giving out free land to anyone willing to build a house and stick around for at least 12 months. Only problem? Most people don't stay. Some ghost town energy, lack of jobs in newer industries, and no joke, actual ghosts. Beatrice is home to the haunted Paddock Mansion, where locals report weird lights and one guy swears he was politely kicked out by a ghost wearing overalls. Saw a comment on Reddit that said I moved here thinking it'd be chill and cheap. It is, but I also had to buy a snowblower, 2 space heaters, and learn how to make conversation about corn. Emotionally, it's wholesome until that 4th week of February hits and you start wondering why your face hurts from simply walking outside. Financially, you can build a home for under $200,000 and live mortgage free, but expect to be your own entertainment. The town's movie theater still shows DVDs on Tuesdays. Not even kidding. You ever been so cold your eyelashes freeze? Beatrice winters are like nature's passive-aggressive breakup text. It's not you, it's wind chill minus 15. Also, why do tractors drive on the highway here like they're above the law? I got passed by a combine doing 43 and a 65. Felt like a fever dream. Picture this. You wake up in your new home, step outside with your coffee, and hear silence. Not like peaceful silence, actual silence. Just you, a snow-covered cornfield, and a faint moo in the distance. And if you think Beatrice is wild, the next town throws you a parade just for moving in. No, seriously. Number 9. Camden. Camden, Maine is offering free land and $35K in perks to remote workers. But before you pack your beanie and beard oil, you might want to check the price of lobster rolls. Camden feels like the set of a Hallmark Christmas movie where the baker's ex is always a startup guy from Boston. The town's got pristine harbors, postcard perfect hills, and old money energy disguised as rustic charm. It's quiet, walkable, and aggressively adorable. And yes, it's practically giving away land. Kinda. Camden participates in Maine's Remote Worker Relocation program, which offers grants and tax credits if you buy property or build a home. Some surrounding townships, Rockport, Hope, etc., even throw in free land lots as part of economic revitalization efforts. Camden, they're pitching hard. Up to $25K for housing, land incentives in neighboring towns, access to zero-interest loans and local tax breaks. Bonus, actual coastal land, not just cornfield leftovers. But then, the dark truth. Camden's median home price is $725,000, and that's if you don't mind your kitchen being in the laundry room. Rent averages $2,000 a month, if you can even find a place between July and October, aka Airbnb Hunger Games. Job market? Great, if you want to sell driftwood art on Etsy, or teach yoga for sailors. According to one post on Reddit, moved here for free land, stayed for the view, cried over the taxes. So let me get this straight. Camden will hand you land and $35K to help you build a $600K shack, spend $8 on a latte, and freeze to death in artisanal style. Sign me up. You know what Camden doesn't advertise? The parking. There is one free parking spot in the entire town, and it's reserved for a golden retriever named Captain. And don't even think about putting a trash can on the curb without a town permit. Also, black flies. They bite through denim. You ever get punked by a bug in a Patagonia jacket? Camden bugs don't care. Picture this. You're building your dream house on a bluff overlooking the ocean. The morning fog rolls in, your sourdough starter is thriving, and a guy in a cable knit sweater brings you oysters just because. Sounds magical, until your Wi-Fi dies and it's a 45-minute drive to the nearest router. Would you move somewhere for free land if it meant dealing with tourists, taxes, and TikTok yogis? Yes? No? Argue in the comments, I'll read them with popcorn. And if Camden is offering coastal charm with a price tag, the next town will literally throw you a parade just for existing. Number 8. Tulsa. Tulsa, Oklahoma isn't just throwing money at you. In some parts of town, they're offering land too, because why stop at $10,000 when you can also get dirt with your dollars? Tulsa was once America's oil capital. Now, it's basically the LinkedIn of cities, trying really hard to network its way into your life. But here's the twist. It's not just the Tulsa remote program that pays you $10,000 to move there. In the surrounding Tulsa metro, you can also find free land offers, especially in satellite towns like Red Fork and Sand Springs. Some city-linked housing authorities and private developments offer land plus cash bonuses for new home builders who work remotely or bring in-demand skills. Here's what makes it spicy. $10,000 grant from Tulsa Remote spread across relocation, rent, and bonuses. Select land lots offered for $0 with a home building commitment. Median home price $190,000, median rent $1,050 a month. Crime rate higher than average. Tulsa's violent crime index sits at 49.6 versus the US average of 22.7. Cost of living 11% below national average. A user over on Reddit mentioned, moved here for the cash, stayed for the backyard, never thought I'd own chickens and a standing desk. So let's recap. Tulsa will hand you land and cash to live in a town with 5G speeds, robot coffee carts, and occasional tornadoes. America, we're either thriving or glitching. Tulsa has 4 seasons, all in 1 week. Monday, heat stroke. Tuesday, hailstorm. Wednesday, allergies. Thursday, tornado warning. By Friday, you're Googling how to build a bunker on free land. Also, shout out to drivers who treat stop signs as emotional suggestions. Now, imagine this. You're sipping coffee on the porch of the house you built on free land, no mortgage, looking out at a sunset behind the skyline. Then you realize you got paid to do this. Cue the happy confusion. Camden gave you ocean air and taxes. Beatrice gave you land and ghosts. Tulsa's giving you cash, dirt, and decent tacos. Fun fact, Tulsa's downtown used to be all banks and oil offices. Now it's co-working spaces and avocado toast pop-ups. One even lets you pay in crypto, of course. Would you move for land and cash, even if it means dodging tornadoes and gentrified brisket? Hit yes or no in the comments, I'll judge silently. But if you thought free land and 10 grand was a good deal, wait till you see the next town that throws you a literal parade just for showing up. Number 7, Lincoln. In Lincoln, Kansas, you can get a chunk of land for free, but only if you build a house immediately. Think of it like a real-life Monopoly move, except the other players are cows and time itself. Lincoln calls itself the post-rock capital of Kansas, which sounds like a music genre, but is actually about limestone fence posts. Yeah, it's that kind of town. Population just over 1,100. Vibe, wide streets, zero traffic, zero Starbucks, people wave at stop signs. It's peaceful, and they really want you there. The city's free home site program offers vacant lots for $0 on a hill with full utilities waiting for someone to build. It's small town America literally giving away land to avoid becoming a ghost town. But then the plot thickens, you have to start building within 6 months and finish in 18, and it has to be a single family home, no tiny houses or shipping container art projects. Some real world numbers: median home price $82,000. Median rent $500 a month. Violent crime rate way below national average, basically safer than your group chat. Cost of living 29% lower than US average. Job market mostly local businesses, agriculture, and remote work hustle. I came across a Reddit post saying, moved here for free land. Now I mow more grass than I talk to humans. Wouldn't trade it for anything. Lincoln, where land is free, stress is non-existent, and your biggest neighbor drama is probably about someone feeding the raccoons again. I respect Lincoln, I do, but can we talk about the wind? Kansas wind doesn't blow, it assaults. 1 minute you're sipping coffee, the next your lawn chair is in Missouri. And their idea of nightlife is 2 diners closing at 6 p.m., both serving the same meatloaf. Love y'all, but come on. Picture waking up to golden wheat fields stretching past your porch. Birds chirping, not an alarm clock in sight. Your house, yours, paid off, on land you got for free. You grab your coffee, walk out barefoot, and all you hear is wind through the trees and maybe a distant moo. No traffic, no chaos, just space. Lincoln is statistically safer than Portland, Maine, not Oregon. Maine, you're more likely to get hit by a falling pine cone in Lincoln than deal with crime. Just don't build your house too slow. The town is watching. In Camden, Maine, you pay $700,000 to breathe lobster air. In Lincoln, Kansas, they hand you land like it's a Costco sample. Would you build a home from scratch if the land was free, or would you just Airbnb a yurt and call it a day? Hit yes, nah, only if I get a riding mower. And if you think Lincoln is peaceful, the next town pays you to live near haunted trees and offers a spiritual bonus? No, seriously. Number 6, Harmony. Harmony, Minnesota will give you land, yes, actual land, if you build a home on it. But here's the plot twist. It's also home to singing trees, Amish ghost stories, and people who wave even when they don't know you. Harmony is what happens when someone says, let's make a town with 0 chaos and 100% birdsong. Population, roughly 1,000. It's quiet, it's clean, it's kind of spooky, and they really want you to live there. Harmony offers free residential land lots as part of a housing incentive to attract families and remote workers. You pick a plot, build a house within a year, and voila, you're a homeowner in the slowest paced town in America. Let's hit the stats. Median home price, $148,000. Average rent, around $675 per month. Cost of living, 21% below US average. Crime rate, solo it's weird. Property crime index is 4.6 compared to US average of 35. Job market, local healthcare, small biz, and remote friendly. They have fiber internet, shockingly. And here's the kicker, locals swear there's a singing oak tree near the town square that hums in the wind. A Reddit commenter once joked, moved here for the land, stayed because it felt like a real-life Animal Crossing. Also, my neighbor gave me an entire pie for no reason. Harmony, where you can own land, a house, and possibly a haunted tree, all without ever hearing a car alarm. Minnesota winters hit different. Harmony's the type of place where it's too cold to snow, but your eyelashes still freeze. Also, the local grocery store shuts at 8 p.m. So if you want chips after Jeopardy, too bad, you're snowed in, snackless, and questioning your life choices. Oh, and good luck finding coffee that isn't labeled church strength. Imagine this, you wake up on land that cost you $0. Outside, soft snow blankets your front yard, birds chirp from a tree that may or may not whisper back. You sip coffee on your porch. It's quiet, peaceful, maybe too quiet until a local drops off warm banana bread just because. Harmony has fewer crimes per year than Camden has daily seagull fights. Would you accept free land in a town where everyone knows your name and possibly your browser history? Yes, no, only if the tree sings Adele. If Harmony is what peace looks like, the next town is what happens when peace gets bored and throws a parade. Number 5, Curtis. Curtis, Nebraska doesn't just give away free land, it gives you a parade for showing up. Yeah, they'll literally throw you a parade just for existing. Your move, Beverly Hills. Curtis is a town of about 800 people, and it's got that made for Hallmark vibe. Quiet streets, local cafes, neighbors who wave like they've known you since kindergarten. Known as Nebraska's Easter City, it hosts an annual parade, egg hunt, and enough small-town pageantry to make you question if you accidentally walked into a Norman Rockwell painting. And yes, they offer free residential lots through their Curtis Land Incentive Program, where new residents can claim land if they build a home within a year. Let's crunch the prairie numbers. Median home price, $100,000. Average rent, about $550 a month. Crime rate, almost non-existent. This town's most controversial headline was about a raccoon loose in the school library. Cost of living, 26% below the national average. Job market, mostly local agriculture, small business, and regional commuting. A voice from the Reddit crowd said, moved here for the land. Got a front row seat in my own welcome parade. Didn't know whether to wave or apologize. So basically, if you build a house in Curtis, they throw a parade in your honor. Meanwhile in LA, your neighbors don't even make eye contact unless you own a Tesla or a drone. Okay, Curtis, love the charm, love the quiet, but who decided all stores should close by 6 p.m.? I tried to grab ice cream after dinner and was greeted by a handwritten sign that said "Gone Fishin'." Also, stop acting like bugs aren't a problem. Your mosquitoes are the size of nickels and fly like they've got unfinished business. Imagine this, you walk outside to check your mailbox, which, by the way, sits on your own land, and a marching band is literally tuning up down the street. Not for an event, for you. The whole town's smiling, it's awkwardly sweet, and weirdly, it kinda grows on you. In Curtis, you get a free lot and a parade. In Chicago, you get a parking ticket and an existential crisis. Would you move to a town that throws you a parade? Or would that much attention make you immediately fake your own disappearance? Vote below, yes or no, only if there's funnel cake involved. And if you think Curtis is quirky, wait till you meet the next town, where even the trees have a reputation. Number 4. Marne. Marne, Iowa has fewer people than your high school gym class, and they'll straight up give you free land to help fix that. Marne isn't just a small town, it's a tiny town with a big land giveaway. Located in Cass County, it's got around 120 people, a single church, no school, no grocery store, and absolutely no traffic. But what it does have is something most cities can't offer: completely free residential lots. You can claim one and build your home. No gimmicks, no fine print, just build within 18 months and meet a few size requirements. So what are you walking into? Median home price, $88,000. Average rent, basically irrelevant, almost nobody rents. Cost of living, a whopping 30% lower than the national average. Crime rate, nearly non-existent, like you're more likely to get hit by falling corn than encounter a crime. Job market, you'll likely be commuting to nearby Atlantic, Iowa, or working remote. I came across a Reddit post saying I moved to Marne for the free land and stayed for the silence. It's peaceful, but also kinda spooky quiet, like No Birds Today quiet. Marne is so small, if you sneeze outside, everyone hears it, and probably asks if you need help or pie. Marne, listen, I love the quiet, but there's a limit. The post office is only open 1 hour a day, which is less than the average teenager scrolls TikTok between meals. Also, your idea of nightlife is sitting on the porch and watching lightning bugs. Cool the first night, boring by day 3. And yes, there is a bar, but it's also the town hall, and the mayor's cousin owns it, naturally. Imagine waking up to birdsong and complete stillness. You open your window and it's just clean air, golden fields, and one random neighbor who waves from 400 feet away. You step outside onto your own front yard, land you got for free, and realize you've officially escaped the chaos. All yours, no mortgage, just sky. Marne won't give you Starbucks, but it will give you space, safety, and sunsets that make your phone camera cry. The kind of quiet that feels earned. In Marne, crime is unheard of. In Philly, it's practically a podcast genre. Could you live in a town with no Uber, no Chipotle, and no people under 40? Or would you need at least one panic room and a backup DoorDash account? Let me know, yes or no, only if the land comes with a llama. And if you think Marne is the peak of quiet weirdness, the next town has Polish pierogies, free land, and a suspicious number of UFO sightings. Number 3. Loup City. Loup City, Nebraska is handing out free land to anyone willing to build, and possibly share a fence with a UFO landing site, because apparently aliens are also into low cost of living and pierogies. Loup City is a small town with big energy. Known for its Polish-American heritage and annual festivals, it also has a lesser-known rep: Nebraska's unofficial UFO hot zone. Population, around 1,000. Lifestyle, quiet, homey, and about as far from urban chaos as you can get. You'll find homemade sausage, 2-lane roads, and free residential lots on the town's website. Yes, actual free land to help repopulate the area and stimulate new development. You just have to build within an agreed timeline. Stats worth landing your spaceship for: median home price, $125,000. Median rent, $600 a month. Cost of living nearly 30% below the US average. Crime rate basically non-existent, unless you count mysterious flashing lights in the sky. Job market, local farming, manufacturing, and regional services. Or remote work from your UFO-proof basement. I read on Reddit that I moved here for the free lot, stayed for the peace and pierogies, and yeah, the sky glows weird sometimes, no big deal. Only in Loup City can you get a free plot of land and possibly meet aliens who'll critique your roof shingles. Here's the thing, Loup City pretends it's chill, but the wind has other plans. One second it's calm, next it's flipping your lawn chairs like they owe it money. Also, they have a Polish festival with some of the best food ever, but no one warns you about the meat sweats that follow. And good luck finding oat milk. You're in whole milk country now, baby. Imagine this, you build a house on your free lot. You walk out one night, cool breeze, the scent of kielbasa from your neighbor's grill, and look up. The stars are so clear, it almost doesn't feel real. Then a light moves in a way that probably isn't a satellite. But hey, land's paid for, right? In Loup City, you get free land and suspicious light shows. In San Francisco, you pay $5,000 a month to live in a closet and still see weird lights, but they're usually cop cars. If Loup City is UFO friendly with free land, wait till you see the next place. They'll literally pay you to make babies there. Number 2. Elwood. Elwood, Nebraska won't just give you free land, they'll pay you to move there, build a home, and start a family. Yep, this town has literally monetized childbirth. Elwood is a village of around 700 people nestled near Elwood Reservoir. Great for fishing, kayaking, and reflecting on your life choices. It's quiet, deeply rural, and yes, slightly obsessed with growing its population. So obsessed, in fact, that they're offering free land in designated residential areas and up to $5,000 per child born and raised locally. If you're looking to build roots, literally and genetically, Elwood's ready to make it worth your while. Let's break down the baby budget economics. Median home price, $105,000. Median rent, $540 per month. Cost of living, 28% below US average. Crime rate, basically non-existent. You're more likely to trip over a garden hose than run into trouble. Job market, mostly agriculture, education, and nearby city commuting, Holdridge and Lexington. As one keyboard warrior on Reddit put it perfectly, I might add. I got land, 2 kids, and a new garage in Elwood. My wife jokes that we're breeding for bonuses, and yeah, it's working. Free land and a paycheck for babies? Somewhere out there, a finance bro just yelled ROI while Googling how to raise twins in Nebraska. Alright, Elwood, love the baby bonus thing, but can we talk about how windy it is? One gust and your stroller's halfway to Kansas. Also, the only coffee shop doubles as a hardware store and closes at 3 p.m. You want a latte? Better know how to fix a tractor while you wait. And the train horn? It will wake your baby every single time. Picture this. You build a house on free land, your kid plays in a safe yard, a neighbor hands you fresh eggs, while another reminds you your child just earned you $5 grand. It's quiet. The air smells like soil and coffee. You're broke in New York. Here, you're thriving in Elwood. Fun fact, Elwood has one of the highest per capita baby bonus payouts in the US. Translation, best place to raise kids and your net worth. Remember how Curtis throws you a parade for showing up? Elwood throws you a check every time you add a +1 to the guest list. And if Elwood is paying you for diapers, the next town wants to limit how big your house is on purpose. And trust me, it's genius. Number 1. New Richland. New Richland, Minnesota isn't just giving away free land, they're setting limits on how big your house can be. In a world obsessed with more, this town said, nah, keep it cozy. New Richland is a small town with big self-awareness. Located about 90 miles south of Minneapolis, it's got around 1,200 people, a solid public school system, and exactly the kind of energy you'd expect from a place where lawn chairs are social currency. And here's the twist. The city gives away free residential lots, but they cap home size, ban fences, and actively discourage McMansions. Because here, it's all about community, not clout. The stats check out. Median home price, $150,000. Average rent, $750 a month. Cost of living, 18% below national average. Crime rate, so low it's suspicious. Just a handful of petty thefts a year. Jobs, mostly agriculture, healthcare, and remote work. Yes, they've got broadband. According to one post on Reddit, moved here, built a normal house, made friends at Lawn Chair Fridays. I've never been so relaxed and so aggressively encouraged to wave at everyone. Free land and mandatory chill? This is either utopia or a Netflix series waiting to happen. Okay, New Richland, I'm here for the vibes. But banning fences? That's bold. You ever try to keep a golden retriever in place using only stern looks and polite boundaries? Also, your coffee shop closes at 2 p.m. 2. That's a personal attack on caffeine people. And don't even think about loud music. The town's idea of a party is someone bringing real plates to a potluck. Picture this. You step outside onto your porch, yes, the one you built on free land, and the street is quiet, sun-dappled, and filled with neighbors you actually know. The air smells like cut grass and cinnamon rolls. Someone's walking by with a pie. You wave, they wave back. No gates, no noise, just calm. In New York, a tiny apartment costs you your will to live. In New Richland, tiny is the point, and it comes with free land, pie, and peace. You came here for free land. You stayed for the UFOs, baby bonuses, and enforced neighborliness. Honestly, I hope you build a tiny house and become your town's weird legend.